What is going on, everybody? Thammagotcha here. Welcome into the Great League. We're going to be revealing our ELO today, but that's later on in the video. But I'm running this team of Ampharos, Tentacruel, and Jellicent, and my gosh, was this team ever so much fun to run. Shadow Ampharos is an absolute core breaker, so let's jump into these matches here. I got two full sets for you guys today, going 8-2 with this team. So Cresselia into Ampharos here, gonna be able to get to these brutal swings pretty fast here. 3 volt switches to the first one, 2 to the next, and they do a boatload of damage. Super effective, may I add, to that bulky Cresselia. Moonblast not gonna be enough to one shot, so I am gonna let it through. I'm gonna throw 2 more volt switches. I'm gonna shield up this next Moonblast, but they decide to bait me with the grass knot, which is completely fine by me. So now I'm at the back-to-back brutal swings. First one gonna be grabbing that shield, gonna throw 1 volt switch, then another brutal swing. This is probably gonna knock out the Cresselia or get that second shield. Down goes the Cresselia, in comes a Registeel. Registeel is a bit of a problem for this team, but these volt switches absolutely tear through this Registeel, and these brutal swings are no joke either. Absolutely putting work in against this Registeel. Pretty well under half health here. Gonna let this focus blast go through. Gonna come in with the Jellicent as we are resisting the lock-ons. Zap Cannon gonna be hitting us for super effective damage, but it's not gonna be enough to one-shot. In comes a Mandibuzz, and we have Blizzard or Scald to hit the Mandibuzz with. Now Tentacruel is an absolute bulk beast, just like the Mandibuzz is. Gonna throw 4 poison jabs for proper move time throwing, then throw the Skull. Can we get the attack drop? No, we can't. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. RNG, BRNG. So Dark Pulse can be coming in. Gonna throw 4 more poison jabs, but they get to the next Dark Pulse before us. Perfectly fine with letting this go through. Gonna throw 1 poison jab, then the Scald. This is probably gonna be getting their last shield here, which it does. Then can we outpace to the next Scald? Yes, we can. And this Scald with the buff should be enough to take care of that Mandibuzz. In comes the Registeel. Should have thrown the Shadow Ball, but we're throwing the Surf. Still not enough to knock out the bulky Registeel, but it's okay. We had a shield and another Surf to go, and that's going to take care of the Registeel. That is going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent there. I wonder if the Shadow Ball was even enough to one-shot. Who knows, but great lead for our end. Out comes a Registeel. That was a shiny Poliwrath as well. Gonna build up to the Focus Blast here, shield up what potentially could be the Focus Blast as well, and I'm gonna throw the Trailblaze just so I can get my attack boosted up here. Trailblaze gets no shielded, quite unfortunate, but it is what it is. Gonna throw this brutal swing here. We have 2 very good answers to Poliwrath in the back, being Jellicent and Tentacruel. We're gonna be taking resisted damage from the counters, and all their moves also are gonna be resisted. We're gonna get a massive farm down, going down 2 shields, but we should be able to get both of these shields back with the Trailblazes against that Poliwrath here. Look at that 1 volt switch worth of damage. Definitely worth it. We are triple boosted, but now I'm gonna come in here with the Jellicent. They are not swapping out either. That is a play that is a tell, that they're going to be very weak to Jellicent in the back, so hopefully kind of weak to Tentacruel, but we'll see. Shadow Ball going to be coming in. That does some nice damage. Even though we are debuffed, we should be able to take care of this matchup. Oh, no problem. Icy Wind, not going to be doing a whole lot of damage. In comes a Cresselia. I'm going to build up here to 100 energy, throwing 3 hexes, and then the Shadow Ball, and hopefully I can get out of here with the Ampharos. And I don't even think a Moonblast is going to be enough to knock us out. They go for the Grass Knot. That is definitely not enough to knock us out. And we have the Brutal Swing locked and loaded here. Brutal Swing almost taking care of the bulky Cresselia, and my goodness gracious, oh, my screen stopped recording. But as you can tell, we took out the Cresselia. They come back in here with the Poliwrath, and we have the Jellicent for the Poliwrath. So unfortunately, a little bit of a bad screen recording on my end, but it is what it is. So Skeledirge lead here. We have Brutal Swing here to do super effective damage. They have Shadow Ball to hit us severely hard. I want to make sure I'm not giving them a full incinerate, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to throw 1 volt switch and then throw my Brutal Swing. I'm at the back-to-back, but I don't need to throw right away, so I'm going to throw another volt switch and then go for another Brutal Swing here. If they want to go all shields down, I will go all shields down in this matchup here. Going to shield up the next Disarming Voice. I'm assuming it's going to be, which it is, and we have the Brutal, we had the Brutal Swing, which we should have thrown it. I don't know why I threw an extra Incinerate Volt Switch, but it is what it is. They come into an Alolan Muck acid spray our Tentacruel, and we should have the advantage here considering we have the Scald, and this is probably going to be the Dark Pulse, which it is. We are double debuff, but Tentacruel is an absolute thick maestro here. Blizzard coming in, left, right, good night, and in comes a Virizion. Oh, this could get very, very tight. Leaf Blade gonna be enough to take care of the Tentacruel here. I have to come in with my Jellicent. I really have nothing I can hit that Virizion for super effective damage or even neutral damage with the Ampharos here. Back in comes my the Skeledirge. I come into the Ampharos here, gonna undercharge the Brutal Swing, and from here, I have to make it to 2 Shadow Balls before they make it to 2 Leaf Blades. So first Shadow Ball going to be coming in. That gets them very low, and they are very close to the back-to-back here. Leaf Blade, oh, almost knocks us out. Can we get there? Yes, we can. This second Shadow Ball is going to be knocking out that Virizion. That's going to be a good game. A very close one indeed to my opponent there. So hopping into the next matchup here. Ampharos and a Drapion. I don't have anything I can hit this Drapion for, so I'm going to come into my Tentacruel here. Going to take a Frenzy Plant to the face. Or do I shield this? No, I take a Frenzy Plant. That is a neutral Frenzy Plant onto one of the bulkiest mons in the Ultra League. It does so much damage. My goodness gracious. I'm going to end up throwing up a shield here. Venusaur is kind of rough for this team as well, as I only have Electric and water and poison and ghost, so Venusaur kind of slaps his team as well. Gonna go for the Scald here. I am all shields down. I kind of really wanted to win switch advantage here. Really don't know why, as I don't have anything to hit this Drapion for either, but Scald gonna be coming in, getting that attack drop, which might help us flip this matchup, even though we're not hitting for any meaningful damage other than a Volt Switch, which is why I'm going to go for the Trailblaze so I can buff up my Volt Switch damage. Trailblaze not going to be getting that shield either, which I guess is fine with me. I'm just hoping I can get to a Brutal Swing before we get knocked out. Yes, we can. That is absolutely amazing. Gonna need this to take care of this Drapion with my Jellicent, but my opponent over farms very, very well. Crunch gonna be enough to take care of us here. Gonna go into the Jellicent. I tried to catch after the Hex, but they were only 2 away from the Crunch, and it's a Tentacruel in the back. Oh, this could be very doable. We're going to be resisting all moves by the Tentacruel here. Shadow Ball, going to be doing insane amount of damage. Going to be resisting the Scald, Blizzard, and the Acid Spray. Also the Sludge Wave here. I'm going to be over farming just so I can have enough health here and energy to take care of that Drapion as well. Shadow Ball going to be coming in, not enough to take care of this Tentacruel here. I get to the Surf and I throw it. This is a major mistake on my end because this Tentacruel is not going to be enough to take care of this Drapion. But if I save that Surf, I'm going to replay this for everybody. If I save this Surf here, if I save this Surf, swap into my Tentacruel here, Poison Jab down, and we're gonna be taking Poison Jabs too. The Drapion shouldn't have gotten to another move, and we should have been able to take care of them. But that's gonna be a good game. That is my error, which is gonna end up being a loss for us. So Alolan Sandslash into Ampharos, gonna be going for the Brutal Swing here. That gets no shielded, which is quite fine by me. I pause a turn, and then I come into my Jellicent, hoping to catch a move, but they throw the Ice Punch anyways. Honestly, just go for the Drill Run. I'm not going to be shielding that whatsoever. Drill Run, Ice Punch, I don't really care. I wasn't going to shield it regardless. Out comes a Tapu Fini. Going to be over farming here and then going for the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is going to be doing nice damage onto the Tapu Fini. Gonna let this move go through. Yeah, Moonblast still not enough to KO here. Gonna go for another Shadow Ball. Then I'm gonna hop into my Ampharos, get a little bit of a head start on energy, but decide to let it go. Left, right, good night, Tapu Fini. Gonna be double shielding my Ampharos as that Alolan Sandslash left with a boatload of energy. So I'm gonna overfarm, or I'm gonna farm this thing all the way down and see what they have in the back. It is a Jellicent. Okay, gonna go for the Trailblaze. Can I make it to a Brutal Swing? Don't think I can. Surf coming in, almost knocks us out, and that third 3-turn fast move versus 4-turn fast move, unfortunately we get knocked out, and my opponent decides to quit the match anyways, which I think they could have won that one, but Doesn't really matter. Went for a 4-1 set there. Hopping into the next matchup. This is after this match or set, sorry, we're going to be getting our ELO. So Tapu Fini on the lead. Great lead for us. They come into a Clefable and Tentacruel is going to have its way with this Charmer. Even if this thing has Psychic, Tentacruel is such a beast. We get the attack fall as well. Psychic got nerfed this season, so it doesn't really do a whole lot of damage. What are they going to do now? They come into the Registeel. This is honestly the best case scenario here. Skull gonna be doing nice damage, and we get the attack fall. You love to see it, everybody. Gonna no shield this. Zap Cannon takes out our Tentacruel here, and we're coming in with the Jellicent. Jellicent gonna be able to get to the Shadow Ball before they reach their Zap Cannon. They are debuffed as well, so Zap Cannon not gonna be doing a whole heap ton of damage here. Gonna let this Zap Cannon go through. Does about 50% of our health here. Gonna get to another Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball gonna be enough to put this Registeel in the red unless it shields, which it doesn't. Completely fine with me. I can just say both shields for my Ampharos here and let Ampharos sweep the game. They come in with the Tapu Fini, and this is just problems for them here. Trailblaze doing massive damage. They no shield that. I farmed down with the Volt Switch, and we're gonna be able to farm down the Registeel, but my opponent concedes the match, and that's gonna be a good game. Well played to my opponent. Hopping into the next match, Alolan Golem. The spice is nice, everybody. My goodness gracious, gonna be throwing 4 Volt Switches and going for a Trailblaze. This is super effective damage, everybody. Massive damage onto the Alolan Golem. Gonna shield this up here. I want to keep my Ampharos quite healthy. Then I'm gonna be going for a Brutal Swing against this Venusaur here. That does so much damage as well, and I decided to come in with the Tentacruel. Since this is non-shadow, I definitely can take 2 Frenzy Plants plus Vine Whip damage, honestly, which is quite fine by me. Gonna no shield the second one here. I really don't want to win switch, as I don't want that Alolan Golem to get an energy head start, but we do end up winning switch anyways. See you later, Venusaur. They get the Volt Switch farm down. I'm gonna get to the Brutal Swing here, and if they want to keep their Alolan Golem alive, they're gonna have to shield up that Brutal Swing, which they do, telling me they're kind of weak in the back. Gonna shield up this move here. Stone Edge would have been enough to KO us. Out comes a Talonflame. Hello, Talonflame. This is a Jellicent. Jellicent has super effective Surfs here. Surf gonna be getting that final shield, and all I have to do is make sure I don't give them a free Incinerate. Fly, definitely not enough to do enough damage. We can take another Fly. Jellicent is absolutely thick, everybody. Surf gonna be coming in massive damage onto that Talonflame, and all we have to do is let our Jellicent go down. It doesn't even go down. Oh my gosh, that is just insane. Surf gonna be taking care of the Alolan Golem, and I'm gonna hard swap into my Ampharos, Volt Switch into that Incinerate, and that takes care of the Talonflame. Gonna be a good game. Well played to my opponent. Hopping into the next matchup, beautiful lead here. Ampharos into Tentacruel, and the Tentacruel is staying in. Honestly, this is not even bad for the Tentacruel. Poison jabs are adding up. Scald's going to do a boatload of damage. Trailblaze is going to buff up our attack, but it's going to be neutral, and Tentacruel is thick, taking that like a champ. My gosh. And now our attack is back to normal. I should have just Volt Switched all the way down instead of throwing a move, because now I'm going to have to... No, okay, no, that was the right play. That was the right play, because they would have thrown in the middle of my Volt Switch. So I'm gonna go for another Brutal Swing here. Brutal Swing does nice damage. Gonna be able to not catch the move. Okay, so I wanted to catch the Surf there. Maybe I should have waited a turn and then swapped into the Jellicent. But honestly, I have no shields left. Shadow Ball is going to hurt the Jellicent. Not enough to one-shot. Jellicent is thick, everybody. Going to farm up to the back-to-back Surfs here. First Surf is going to be enough to KO this Jellicent. And what is in the back? It's a Charizard. Just what we needed to see. Gonna throw the Surf to get the shield. Gonna go throw another Surf. And this Surf is going to put the Charizard deep into the red and the yellow. And now come into the Tentacruel. We can just Poison Jab all the way down. One Blast Burn would have been enough to KO anyways. Good game. Well played to my opponent. So weak to the Ampharos, my goodness. And look at this, another lead weak to the Ampharos. They let me get a 2 Volt Switch head start, which allows me to get to that first Brutal Swing exceedingly fast. Gonna no shield this, or I do shield up the Ancient Power. Definitely want to no shield that in case I get the boost, but little bit of misplay on my end. Brutal Swing, gonna be getting that shield anyways. Gonna throw 2 more Volt Switches. Then I'm double shielding here. Expecting them to throw Dragon Claw. I could throw 1 Volt Switch and I should be able to outpace the next Brutal Swing. No, they're gonna be able to get to 1 more Dragon Claw, but are we gonna be able to survive here? Do the Shadow Ampharos survive? Yes, we do. Absolutely perfect. Brutal Swing taking care of that Giratina, and if they didn't give me that 2 Volt Switch head start, they probably could have won Switch advantage there. But now out comes a Regirock. And this is just a straightforward game from here. Surf is going to be doing some nice chip damage. I tried to swap out right away. Don't really know what happened there. But Tentacruel can take a Stone Edge. Definitely 2 Stone Edges. And we're going to get to the Skull before they reach the 3rd Stone Edge. And this Scald should be well enough to take care of this Regirock here. Scald, left, right, good night Regirock, and we should be able to get to another Scald, but my opponent decides to throw energy anyways, which is completely fine by me. Ice Punch not even enough to KO us. They're not even running Icy Wind, so we don't even get the debuff there. Scald doing enough to put it into Shadow Ball range. They're probably going to be throwing their own Scald here. Definitely not enough to do any meaningful damage, but Shadow Ball is going to take care of this Poliwrath, and that's going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent. So hopping into the final matchup. No, there's just 2 more. Okay, doesn't matter. Poliwrath, another great lead. Out comes a Virizion. I come into the Tentacruel here. Gonna no shield the Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade is neutral due to our poison subtyping, which is great for us because we can take 3 Leaf Blades before we get knocked out because the double kicks are resisted. Gonna throw 4 more poison jabs. Should have just gone straight for the Blizzard, to be honest. But Scald gets the attack fall. I was kind of worried that the Leaf Blade would put me in the double kick down range, so I do end up shielding that, but we get the massive farm down, which is absolutely amazing. But I shouldn't have shielded that. Definitely could have kept the shield as we would have survived that, and I think we could have survived all those double kicks, but I'm not 100% sure. I hard swapped into my Jellicent here, which I should have hard swapped into my Ampharos, because my Jellicent has a better matchup against the Poliwrath, and the Ampharos could have put in work against this Giratina rather than me getting rid of the Jellicent, because they get the boost. Heads up everybody, this Giratina gets the boost. Gonna use both of their shields, which is very unfortunate. Don't even get to the Shadow Ball. Oh, that is just irks me inside. Gonna no shield the first one. Oh my gosh, they get the boost. Oh, so bad. And I can't even overfarm on energy. This Poliwrath is way too healthy. Gonna swap into the Tentacruel to catch the move. Scald almost enough to take care of the Tentacruel. Can we make it? I should have thrown the Brutal Swing here, everybody. Should have thrown the Brutal Swing. I don't think it would have been enough to KO, but I could have Volt Switch down and then Brutal Swing the Giratina. That would have been the play to win the game. But there's our ELO for the season, 21-14, 2-4-1 to start the ELO range here. I got more videos coming out. I got some great teams coming out. So I climbed up pretty well over 100 points today. So watch out for those videos coming in the future. But thank you all so much very much for watching. If you guys are liking the content, please hit that like button, comment if you want to see anything in the future, and like always, I will see everybody. Whoa. If you guys haven't subscribed already, please do, because it's very much appreciated. It really helps out the channel, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Bye.